Hey everybody, it's Terez, Paylor, Kansas City Star, and I'm with my main man, Blair, Kerkhoff, Sam Mellinger. Posted up here in beautiful Minneapolis after the Chiefs' 16-10 loss. And yeah, there's a little bit of background, ambiance here. Bad season. It's gone to hell. And I don't think a lot of people would have expected 1-5 at this point. I mean, you could have given me a lot of scenarios, and I wouldn't expect it 1-5. But you know what? We're always here. We're always giving opinions. We're still covering the team. That's what we do, right, baby? So, guys, let's go through our 3 and out. Give me your one major takeaway from this big loss. Sammy, let's go.
I'm shocked. I just, not to piggyback too much of what you just said, but I just thought there's too much talent. Andy Reid and his assistant, I mean, those are guys with proven track records. I just didn't think that this was possible. Yeah. And, we can talk about Alex Smith, we can talk about the offensive line, and those are the things I feel like people are pointing to, but there's a lot of other issues. I mean, there are way too many penalties, way too many turnovers. The defense picks bad times to give up big plays. I mean, it's just from top to bottom, it's just a big mess. And my takeaway is that the rest of the season needs to be all about evaluating who should be here next year and who shouldn't, because that's the only thing that matters at this point.
It's about the guys that are still playing hard and are like showing passion and emphasis. And I'm gonna save that tip, but you hold on to that. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Blair, what do you got?
Well, just I'll let you talk about the specific players. I was really impressed with Alan Bailey today, but how do you hold Adrian Peterson to 2.3 yards per carry, one of the worst performances of his career? They get 2 interceptions, Chiefs do, and really, I never thought for 1 minute they were going to win the game. No. They got to 13-10, and one of the more bizarre fumbles that you'll see. Offensive lineman poking the ball from Charkandrick West, Donald Stevenson, to really snuff out the last great hope that Kansas City had. It really, this season really defies belief what's gone wrong for them, and they're the masters of their own fate. They've created this situation for themselves, and they've got to find a way to dig out and get some wins. Yes, next year, it's about next year for them at this point, but they got next week too, and they got the week after that, and then they have a second half of the season to play. And good gosh, how is this thing going to unfold?
Man, football's a long season, man. You start 1-5, it makes it a little harder to sell out. Isn't it a little harder to give 110% when you start making business decisions? That's why it's so hard to rally back from an early hole. But that's also why I'm impressed with Marcus Peters. That guy's won me over. He plays hard, and he's really into it. I thought the interception he had today was a hell of a play. It was a great play. And they need more guys that play like passion like that. That needs to continue to happen. And he's got his flaws too. Right, he's a young guy. He gambles, But like, if you had told me, my larger point is if you told me that they would have found a cornerback that can create turnovers, if they would have signed Jeremy Maclin, and those are 2 big things last year, and they'd be 1-5 after last year's team went 9-7, I never would have believed it. I never would have believed it. Like, who would think that happens? Just goes to show you football, man. You never know.
On top of that, getting Barry, DeVito, and Derek Johnson back.
Right. From a defense that was second in the league in points against. It makes no sense.
It's a remarkable situation.
Peters is exactly what they were missing last year in a lot of ways.
Right. Just kind of a gambler and
that was like
the playmaker.
The intersection between like brains and physical ability. That was a beautiful play. A beautiful play.
Like, that's the thing, but it's like it feels like all these little things have kind of added up to big problems, right? Because Adam Peterson makes it great if you have Phillip Gaines that play nickel. And then if you saw what Ron Parker can do as safety, right? But then you didn't have him as safety a few games. You had him in nickel. That takes away what he does best. There's all kinds of like little things that have added up. All season, Sean Smith being out. There's just all kinds of little things that have added up to these problems they've had. And I guess it just goes to show you again, I feel like I'm going to say this a lot the rest of the year. Any given Sunday, any given year, football is one of those, you just don't know. One thing can turn one thing into another, and, at the end of the day, they could have been 3-2 right now if they beat Denver. or 3-3 at least. Now where are they? They're 1-5, and people are talking about draft status and Jared Goff, right? So, no, I'm serious. That's where we're at now. So, we're gonna be here to chronicle this season. It'll be interesting, even if it's not quite what you guys are hoping for or expected. But we're gonna be here, and we're gonna do the best we can to bring it to you. So, thanks for watching. For Sam and Blair, I'm Terez. I'll see you guys later.